Yeah. But
Come
you know,
on.
it's a difference when it comes to me and him, and then them and him. They see it.
What would be the ultimate for both?
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Yes. I'm feeding myself. We're talking to you guys about Verneisha and talking about Joel. This is part one of two videos that we'll be doing. Part one, we're going to talk about a little bit about Verneisha's overconfidence, number one, in Joel. And number two as well, we're going to talk a little bit about language that is used when people are potentially overconfident in a relationship or even maybe clingy in a relationship. And then in part two, we'll deal with Joel's statement about her being controlling or being overbearing. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification up, lows. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, Let's get into the video, okay? You just watched a clip where Verneisha just said, obviously, you see that the other girls see there's a big difference between ourselves and them, right? And what's really interesting about that is, when she said it at the time when I was watching it, I said, "Oh, girl, you're talking right now, sis, and you don't know that." And the reason why I was saying that is because this is the very first clip of the show, basically. But the reason why I was saying that is because this is a dating competition show. And unfortunately, people have other dates they're having and not telling you all the way through what they're dating. People are having dates behind the scenes. People are having dates that you know about, but you don't know the ins and outs of the connection they had. We know later on that Joel was saying that obviously they had a disagreement, a miscommunication on the phone, and that made him feel a certain type of way. I'm guessing that miscommunication might have been over the kiss situation. I have a feeling that maybe the kiss was said as a kiss, and then he told her it was a kiss on the cheek, because in this particular episode, she said there was a kiss on the cheek. So I'm guessing she had been corrected, because obviously Amber told us on the show with the girls that she had kissed him. So I'm guessing the added information probably is coming from when they had a discussion behind the scenes on the phone, and there was miscommunication on that aspect, right? And she was probably annoyed the fact that he did kiss someone else, and and I understand it. And the reason why is because she felt like they had a really good connection, and he was all in for her. But because it's a dating game show, it doesn't work like that. People are not all in. In fact, dating is like this in general. People are not all in. They give you a lot of gumption, a lot of energy, but until action meets word. And here's a word. The word is, let's be together. And then the action is showing you that the actions prior to this should show you they actually wanted to be in a relationship with you. So there should have been some interest registered, desire shown. There should have been behaviors of consistency that was coming up before they get to a point of asking you out. Let me just say that again one more time for you guys who are interested in dating. If somebody approaches you and says, "I want you to be my girl," you know what I'm saying? "I want you to be mine," please look back over the behaviors that they've shown. Are they consistent? Have they shown desire? Have they been true to their word previously? Like, what have they shown you to trust you, that you can build trust in, to say, actually, I want to be in a relationship with you? Don't just see the baddie in front of you, the big bum, big breast, big arms, big chest, fine looking smile, 6 foot tallest, chocolate melanin skin. Don't just look at the outer shell as I'm about to collect my dowry and my payments here. Look at it as a set of behaviors. What have they shown you up until that point? Have they shown you consistent behavior? Have they been true to their word? Have they been consistent with you in communication? Are you guys even connected interpersonally? Do you have things in common? Are you meeting on the attitudes and the values? Are you meeting on that level? Are you even discussing attitudes and values? Before you get into a relationship with that person, where's the in-depth conversation? That's very, very important, right? But here we have Verneisha and Joel's situation. Let me get some water and stay hydrated. I didn't even say my little opening bar, because the streets are hot. Where there was I thought there was overconfidence from Vern in the fact that she said, "Oh, we have a different relationship to the rest of the girls." I'm like, did they know that? I'm like, sis, I wouldn't be so overconfident in that, because now he's in a situation where he doesn't even know if he really wants you. He's calling you controlling behind your back. You don't realize that. Why? Because things haven't been secured yet. you have to secure first before you boast. Don't ever boast without securing. I want you to watch this clip and we'll talk a bit more.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
Hey, yo, this is.
I don't know if you noticed, this guy here, his lips went, ooh. Like the guy, the very precise, went, ooh. He was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling, ooh. Like when he saw her, he could see, okay, visually, she looks bad. Now look at this.
This is my stick alone.
I'm Verneisha.
I don't hear that about you.
The gentleman with the brown hat too, very suave, said, listen, we've heard a lot about you. That's a good sign. Obviously, he's been talking quite a bit to talking a bit to his friends. And obviously the girl who's also there as well. I don't know if he's told the girl that you know, some of the methods, some of the behaviors of Verneisha, but he's definitely looking to see what they will observe as the course of the day goes on. Which then the girl, the only one, says, oh yeah, I think she's a little bit controlling. The guys don't see it, but the girl does, right? And that's different perspectives and etc. etc. Okay, cool. Now there's another clip where she says about herself. I want you to listen very carefully.
So, what do you think about Joe? I know we already right here. I just want to know.
Ooh, child. That's my boo.
Pause. Okay, now this comment on its own is still a little bit hectic, but it's not as hectic until you find out she says that she's territorial. Now, the key issue here is that she says, they ask her a question, what do you think of Joel? And she says, oh, that's my boo. Now, I'm hoping that when she said that's my boo, you know, she didn't mean it in the Alicia Keys manner. She meant it in a sense of like, that's my boo, you know, that's my cool, that's my people's, that, you know, I like him a lot kind of thing, kind of vibe, and not in a, you know what, we are together kind of boo. I know she didn't mean it like, oh, we're deeply in together when he hasn't said it, but it's more of a case of when you say my boo, that sets up an expectation, it sets up, I guess, it sets out expectations and desires, right? But it also speaks a lot to where you stand at the moment. And I want to say this, I know it's going to sound really mad, but listen, ladies, I need you to be a bit more coy. Man, them two who always seem to fail in this process, be a little bit more coy. The coyness is this: don't overstate what it is until it is what it is. Let me say it again: don't overstate what it is until it is what it is. Okay, you don't call the person your boo until they are your boo, right? Unless you're joking and you mean it in a joking manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't call them your boo unless they are your boo. Okay, this is not Alicia Keys and Usher video. Okay, you need to have that, because what can happen is these situations where there's overconfidence, like he's my boo, yeah. But watch this, they're wrong.
This is a different type of process. So this isn't just from one person you meet and then you kind of click. Either it works, it don't work, you know.
I'm doing some adjustment and learning.
I think the friend knows a little bit about the clingy stuff, because the way she's asking the questions, you're saying, oh, this is not a, you know, type of process where, you know, it's not the type of process where, you know, you just date one person, da-da-da-da. I think she's clocked in a little, I think she knows a little bit from what Joel said. I think she's aware that he said about her controlling methods, and it's kind of like asking questions to kind of feel her out a little bit, yeah? That it may not be true. She may not have known anything at all. It's just my sentiment, my added feelings, my opinion. I may be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the friend will reach out and tell us no. You know what I mean? Watch this.
Some things about myself, I think, during the process.
It's just stuff we want to know.
I'm very territorial.
But you're in the process.
Yeah, but it's
like...
Okay, so cool. Now, here's the thing. She said, obviously, she's very territorial, okay? And again, I think sometimes territorial and its word, like, it's not a bad word on its own, like territorial, because we understand people can be territorial. I'm territorial. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if a guy gets too close, I can be territorial as well. I like to man the fences. My friend, you're a little bit close. You understand? Like, I think we've all got a little bit of territorialness in us. What you don't want is territorial where it becomes controlling, where the person can't do anything, can't say anything, can't be anything, can't wear anything. Now, that's completely different. Or where you can't talk to another female without there being an issue, or talk to another male without there being an issue. Now, that is manning beyond the fences of your relationship, okay? You're manning beyond the fences of your relationship. You're now going beyond the gates and going to police outside. You can't police outside. You can only police the grounds that you own. That's the freehold. That is the building with the land that's the building with what resides on the land that you own. Outside of those gates, they don't exist to you. Okay, what they do out there is what they do out there. You can't control that. You can only control what happens in your particular household. Okay, let me sip some water. Cool. All right. So now you got my boo plus obviously as well. I am territorial. And if you listen to the way the friend is going to question it, like the question normally would ask, okay, you're territorial. What do you mean by being territorial? Or what does it mean? What do you mean by being territorial? Or why do you think you're territorial? Why are you territorial? Right? That would probably be a better question to ask, and maybe a more natural question. That's why I think a little bit the friend knows a little bit, because the way she questions it is what makes me think.
Process, but at the same time,
And look at her facial expressions. It's like, but this is a show where obviously you date other people. But it's like, yeah, we know that, but you know when you know when, like, if someone said it to me, oh, I'm a little bit territorial, like, because I like him, and I know the show it's got open characters, I wouldn't be looking like, but she had a look on her face like, but that is a show where they're dating several people, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, but I understand why the friend did that. I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to allude to the fact that maybe the friend knew some more information, and that's why the line of questioning was the way it was towards Verneisha. Maybe that's the reason why it was the way it is. Okay, and if Veneisha's gonna say it,
focus is on one guy.
I don't know if you actually heard that. I don't know if you actually heard that.
We're trying to process.
Yeah, but it's the process, but at the same time, my focus is on one guy.
So she obviously said, obviously that's the process, but then she goes, obviously, but still, my focus is on one guy. So I don't know if that's controlling. I would say more of a case of the fact that she's going to have invested emotionally more into Joel, because she's only got one person she's feeling. Just like the guys also who KG right now would have more invested in Amber than he would anybody else, because that's the one girl that he's feeling. I understand that, right? We saw that last season with KG and Naya. But with Vern, obviously she has an interest in Joel, and that's a solo interest at the moment, and that can make you weak. Let me keep it 100% real. In this game, that can make you weak. And here's why it can make you weak. Your patience. You see, when you've got multiple options, you're more patient, because you understand that I don't have to settle. I don't have to. If you don't want it, someone else will. If you don't want to play, someone else will. If you don't buy me a Birkin bag, someone else will. Like, I'm just kidding with the last one. But if you don't want to share your love with me, that don't matter. There's another person that will. And so, being in a space where you've got options, it makes you cool, it makes you calculated, it makes you more reserved, it makes you not panic, right? This is why you don't panic buy at a shop when you know you have several other shops, because you have other options. It gives you power. But she said her one option or one choice is only Joel. That's going to make her sweat. So when she hears that, Amber kissed her man, she's gonna be like, whoa. That's my one only target that's going to make her sweat. It's going to make her feel some type of way. And I understand what that is, but at the same time, it's going to make him feel like he's claustrophobic, right? He's obviously a person that's very, how do you say, there's some extrovertedness in him. He likes to be around people, especially women. He's very good with women. Baby, he's really good around talking to them, catching jokes, just being able to flow and maneuver with them, right? And I'm guessing maybe Vern might not like that per se. But remember, I told you this. I told you this at the very beginning when I did, I believe I did a review around this, around the body language of Verneisha when she was talking to Joel. The way that she spoke to Joel, she looked like she was almost batting out of her league with Joel. Right, the confidence that she had standing next to him wasn't the way she was holding herself. And maybe I'll go back over there and do it. If I haven't done it, I'll go back and do another video about it and bring it to your attention. The very first time they met at the mixer, if you watch their scene once again, look at her body language. Look at the way that she's standing. Look at the gap that she brings between the two of them. Look at the way that she holds herself. And you see, there's a little bit of a story being told there that there's a disadvantage for her in towards Joel. Right? It's so interesting, and similar with Tressa, I did the same thing. Tressa did the same thing as well, but she was much closer than Tressa was anyway. But yeah, so yeah, it's more of a case of like, I wanted Verneisha to be more coy, and when I say coy, what I mean by that is, okay, so if someone asks you, so what is it to you? Say, hey, look, you know what? Here's an example. They asked her, what's going on with you and Joel? And she's like, oh, that's my boo. People think we have a strong, people know that we have a stronger connection than anybody else. All right, cool. What's my response here? My response is this: when you're playing coy, right? When it's not secured because the person hasn't secured it yet, and the secure person is the person who is in power in the relationship fold. If you're not in power, You don't get to set the dynamics. You don't get set the pace. You don't get to set when we move. Okay? You don't get set that, right? Let me just get the clip a little bit more.
I'm Verneisha.
I don't hear a lot about you.
So what do you think about Joe? I know we already right here. I just want to know.
Ooh, child. That's my boo.
So with Verneisha and obviously Verneisha and Joel, like, you have to understand that you don't speak in definitives. You speak in hypotheticals. Here's an example I mean by that. You know what? Like, I think we'll be great. I think it'll be amazing. I think we could be great, and I think we could be amazing in the future. I really love what we're doing right now. But it's not something that I'm saying. I don't even say that. I should say. Let me rephrase that. Let me start again. I think we could be great in the future if we continue going the way we're going and the course that we're going on. Fantastic. We could be something in the future, But again, that's potentially where we're going towards, and that's all I can really say, right? If you say, oh, we are going to be that, then you are saying definitives. We are going to be that. Just leave it in the air, leave it open, be coy about it. I think we are on a path towards there, and it could be great. If we continue the path we're going along. I would like it to go there, but I want to always make sure that this is the right thing for both of parties. That leaves it in the air. When you say, we are going to be this, and we are going to be the famous couple, we are going to be the ones, we are going to be, married, we are going to be this and that, then you're setting definitives. And when you set definitives, that's the issue right there. When you set definitives, that's the issue right there. You close the situation on you when you don't have the power to close it. Joel does. So now that's why Joel feels a little bit claustrophobic, because he's no longer leading it. He's no longer leading the dance. So in power dynamics, whenever the person who's in control feels like the person who's not in control is trying to set pace in the dance, they will feel like they're being controlled. But that's for another video. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded.